Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We got another one. 2017 Lincoln MKC with, guess what? An intermittent parasitic draw. Well, guess what it's going to be? The telematics control unit, the radio transceiver module, maybe something else. The history is the car only has 21,000 miles. It's almost brand new in terms of mileage. The owner says he just uses it occasionally to drive his elderly mother around. And a few months ago, he said his battery just went dead overnight. So classic, hey, maybe it's a bad battery, replace that. It was fine for a few days. Boom, happened again. He took it to, I think they bought it at a Chevy dealer, even though it's a Ford. And they, again, replaced the battery. Then they replaced the rear tailgate module. Then they said, hey, it's fixed. He took it back. Boom, battery died again. He brought it back to the dealer. They're like, oh, we actually need to reprogram or reflash the module. Now it's fixed. He took it back home. A few days later, boom, another dead battery. So he's like, this is really frustrating, annoying. I need an actual diagnosis. So it's here, and he said before he brought it over, for 4 days it was fine. So I'm like, oh great, it's not one of these pretty consistent draws. It appears to be very intermittent. So I let it sit outside, drove it around, put the ammeter on. It always dropped to about 15 milliamps, which is normal. Can't reproduce it. So how do you go about diagnosing a car like this? You can't keep it for a month. Well, I mean, the dealership I think kept it for like 2 months, so but that, you know, that's not very efficient for me or for the customer. So if we can't reproduce it, we could go by experience and say, hey, let's disable your telematics control unit and see what happens. That's one option. Again, no code stored in the car, so we don't have a good clue. But today I want to try out an interesting tool which may help us in this diagnosis. So here we are at the vehicle. I got my in-series ammeter connected. This is my favorite tool for low amp parasitic draws. So we see 0.016, which is 16 milliamps. So this is normal. The car is fully asleep. I have the door locks latched so I can swing the doors open if I need to. The car is fully asleep. Now, this is just a real-time reading. You could either connect it between the battery positive, you know, if you lift off the cable and connect your meter from the cable to the battery post. That's the most convenient way to do it on this car, but in this case we're actually doing it at the negative battery terminal, which is the more common approach. So I have a clamp stuffed in there. It's attached to the post of the battery, and the cable itself is lifted up, and the convenient ground is over here. It's more accessible to do our checks on. So what is this new gadget or tool that I want to try out? It is called the Wi-Fi Parasitic Logger. Now this is a prototype. Online, I think in one of my last videos, someone posted a link. He's like, hey, check out this guy's gadget. So I went there. Let's take a look at what this thing is supposed to do and how I got one. So this is the video. I'll put a link in the description. Gadgets number 168 Wi-Fi Parasitic Logger. It's on the Gadgets playlist channel. And I guess this guy Martin Loren, he builds, or he at least has an app that he made that's available to anyone, and that is, if you go to his website, Martin LOREN, the HSCOPE. Transform your compact oscilloscope into a powerful instrument at your hands. So basically, this is an Android phone. I think you can also use an iPhone, I'm not sure. But your USB scope can be used as a hotspot and basically sends data directly to your phone. And this app displays the data, and you can use it as an oscilloscope. So oscilloscope on your smartphone. So you can get it on the Google Play. Get the best performance from your oscilloscope. Analysis on the fly. No need of PC or laptop. Simple interface. Touchscreen installation. Really neat stuff. You just buy a license for like 12 bucks. Super cheap. And you can use this with a variety of supported devices. So these little USB oscilloscopes that are either battery powered or USB powered, with a Wi-Fi connection, you get data right on your phone. So pretty neat. However, this gadget here, the Wi-Fi Parasitic Logger, takes it to the next level. It actually measures current going through this device and transmits it to your phone via Wi-Fi. So on this video, I commented, okay, this is simply brilliant. Where can I buy one? And this guy sent me one to try out. So that's what we're going to do. I want to log this parasitic drain overnight. And let's look at the app and see how that works and see how to wire up this device. Ooh, check it out. Our parasitic draw went up to like 65 milliamps. Now it's back down to 16. Is something in the car trying to talk? So you can't watch the ammeter for like, hours yourself. This device will do it for us. This is exactly why I'm using it. So to hook it up, it has 3 leads, positive, a ground, which you can see the red lead is attached to the battery negative post, so it's feeding off of the battery, and this thing, when it's on, consumes 0.1 amps, so 100 milliamps. That should be fine overnight. It won't discharge the battery. We don't need a maintainer. Now, the way to hook it up is, it feeds off the battery, and then this third lead, this is going to be our parasitic draw. So instead of the ammeter, the current's going to be going through this lead from the car ground through the device and back to the negative battery post. So this is going to be our ammeter with a built-in Wi-Fi transmitter that transmits the data to the app, and let's see how to set that up. Okay, so on the phone, I'm going to try to reduce the glare. So this is the HSCOPE app. This is your regular oscilloscope, so 2 channels. You see all your regular scope settings. So we can use it as a scope, not this device. You can use the actual oscilloscope with your phone. What we're interested in is right here, this logger. So this is real-time digital readout, and then right here in the logger you can select the interval. So every 5 seconds it's going to take a reading. So if I press play, every 5 seconds it should plot whatever it recorded. Okay? And then it saves that into a CSV file. So if I hit stop and save file, you can transfer that right there. There's our file. CSV. You can look at it in Excel, you can plot it, do whatever you got to do. So that's how it works. So let's try it out right now. We have 16 milliamps, we know that. So if we connect the Wi-Fi logger instead of the ammeter, we should see about 16 milliamps. We see about 10 milliamps. So 16. Let me kind of restart the app, start from scratch. Alright, so we're at 0. If I unplug my ammeter, all the current will go through the Wi-Fi logger, and we're at 10 milliamps. Now, at these really small current readings, this might be a little bit off. However, we're interested in the big jumps. So I was seeing every 10 minutes or so this go up to 60 milliamps. Now that wouldn't drain your battery, but when it does really act up, then it goes higher than that, obviously. So we're going to start with this. Every 5 seconds it's going to take a reading. We're just going to hit record and do its thing. So we can go over here, leave the phone plugged in on the charger, no problem. It'll just record all night long, and you can see the maximum record limit is 120 hours. So that's my approach for now. And let this simmer. Be back in the morning. And while logging the parasitic draw, what I want to do is do a little research online on this specific vehicle. And, you know, is it a coincidence that all these 2015, 16, 17 Lincolns are having this exact issue? Why is this? And on the last one, disconnecting or disabling the telematics control unit supposedly solved the problem. I haven't heard anything from the customer since. So there is a TSB, Customer Satisfaction Program, 3G telematics control unit to 4G upgrade kit. So they say this program will be effective until May 31st, 2022. Well, that's already expired. North America 3G cellular service began decommissioning in August 2021 and will be fully decommissioned in February 2022. Vehicles on the road equipped with a 3G telematics control unit TCU embedded modem will lose mobile app functionality connectivity. Some owners are still within the complimentary trial period, depending on model year and brand, see to low for connected services. So you can upgrade your 3G TCU to 4G, including antenna cables, mounting hardware, complete the programmable module installation. So this silly thing is to like use your app to start your car from far away, and so when you get in you have like warm seats. So really not a crucial module to the operation of the car. So, and obviously you need to like pay subscription fees. So this is not Bluetooth connectivity. This is a modem that the car talks to whatever, the Lincoln server, and if you have this special app and subscription, you can talk to your car with your phone. So what I'm saying is, can we easily disable this module? If we don't recreate the problem, we have to try something. And I think this is the most kind of the educated guess. If this thing was outdated, you know, 3G stopped, now it's going nuts trying to connect, can't connect with 3G, and it's periodic. So is there a dedicated fuse for this module that we can easily pull without tearing the interior apart, just to have a control experiment? So on the wiring diagrams, it looks like fuse 17 5 amp in the BCM feeds this telematic control unit, and it's just power, ground, and 2 communication wires. That's all this module is. Now, does this fuse feed anything else? Well, fuse 17 is right here, and it's one of those triple fuses that we saw in the last one. It also has fuse 18. I'm like, oh man. Well, it could feed several things, and then fuse 18 could feed several things. So we have to look up power distribution, and it looks like fuse 17 5 amp feeds telematics control unit, and fuse 18 5 amp is not used. So I think we're in luck. If we pull this triple fuse 17-18, it will just disable the telematics control unit. So that's easy to do. The BCM is by the passenger's feet. But I want to leave this thing as is. We'll let it simmer overnight. And look, we already have a little bump in activity right there. So it went on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 5-second intervals. So for 30 seconds, it was on. Let's keep watching and see what the repetition rate is of this draw, and if it goes any higher than, you know, like how cool is this? You can zoom in. Looks like the draw was like 30 milliamps, but once you download the file, you can see exactly what the numbers are. We can plot it. This is powerful stuff. I like it. Okay, this is super interesting. During this 30-second period, we're up to 60 milliamps, and I confirmed with the meter that indeed it was the telematics control unit on fuse 17. There's a 0.6 millivolt drop across the fuse during this event. Very neat. Now I want to see how often does that event repeat. This will be very easy to see on the logger, and I think at this point, even if we don't see a big parasitic draw, I'm going to pull that fuse and give this back to the customer, and then let him drive it. If it lasts like 2 or 3 weeks with no draws, then we confirm it is the telematics control unit that not only draws 60 milliamps once in a while, but potentially wakes up the entire network. I'm not sure which network it's on. It's probably high speed 2 like the other one was, and is causing a big parasitic draw. Okay, it looks like we got a long draw period starting now, so I'm going to measure the voltage drop on the fuse. 0.7 millivolts. That's definitely what's drawing 60 milliamps right now. Let's see how long that lasts. So I measured the time gap between all the small draws. It was exactly 6 minutes 30 seconds. We had that one longer draw that lasted almost 3 minutes. The other ones last about 30 seconds. So let's see what happens this time. You can see how cool this gadget is. This data is priceless. How else could you collect this data? There's no other tool that does this. You're not going to use an amp clamp with a scope, because amp clamps drift. This is an ammeter, so it reports the exact milliamps, and it's not drifting anymore. I think it just warmed up and it's steady state. in terms of temperature. It's about 60 milliamps still. Now again, that won't draw the battery down, but I'm wondering if this module at some point does wake up the network. Is it looking for a 3G signal? Like, what is it doing right there? Boom. The draw just shut off. So that was about a 3-minute draw. Just like this one. So we had 3-minute draw, 30 second, 30 second, 30 second, 30 second, then 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every 5th draw is like 3 minutes long. I think this is pretty awesome. So it's the next morning. Let's take a look at the overnight log on this Lincoln parasitic draw. So there's the entire 7-hour log, and it's super repeatable. We have the little spikes. You know, for 30 seconds it'll drain 60 milliamps 1, 2, 3, 4 times every 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's cool, you can line it up with the cursors like that. You can see 4 and then 11. This is 5 and this is 11:30, so 6 minutes 30 seconds. And then it does the longer drain for about 3 minutes at 60 milliamps. Now this is normal operation. This will not drain the battery overnight, but I don't trust this module. So what I'm going to do, save this recording and then pull that fuse out, start up the car, let it warm up, recharge the battery, since the parasitic logger has been draining 100 milliamps all night long, and just set it again. I'll actually try to download the app to my old smartphone, which is not enabled, but hopefully we can use it as a logger. So don't throw your old phones away. So to do that, you just click stop, and then see 0.37 megabyte, and we can edit that. And this is going to be overnight 1 done. Okay, that's our file. So we'll be back in a bit. So I got the parasitic logger, the HSCOPE app, set up on my old smartphone. This thing's like 10 years old. Works great. It's Android Samsung S4. You see the exact same pattern on there. So what I want to do now is just pull out this fuse number 17, and we'll start up the car, let it warm up a little bit, and put the logger back on there, see what happens. Alright, so let's pull this guy out. Okay. So you can see it started that blip, and now it's at 15 milliamps. I just re-zeroed it at the default draw. So I'm gonna hook it up, and we'll put the logger back on. So Lincoln is back inside with the telematics fuse pulled out. So here's the parasitic draw right now, just on the regular meter, 0.8 amps. It will drop, drop down within 40 minutes down to its 15 milliamp draw. So let's set up the Wi-Fi logger. So to do that, first you have to select the probe. It'll zero out. And then go to our digital display. So we're at 0. We'll connect that instead of the meter. C3. .8, 1.4, 1.0, and we'll just start logging every 5 seconds. Sweet. All right, back to the Lincoln. It's been recording for almost 3 hours. Right there, that was the initial draw when we reconnected the logger, and then boom, down to 10 milliamps. That's the final draw. No, glitches or little bumps every 6 minutes. So we're gonna leave that TCU fuse out. We're gonna give it back to the owner. He'll keep me updated. And how do you charge for something like this? So we didn't really recreate the customer complaint, but we put in the time and effort to diagnose the issue, and we found something suspicious. I never trust these telematics modules. What is that module used for? That is literally a modem for the car to talk to whatever, a server. And if you have the special app and the subscription, you can, it's like a convenience feature that 3G is now outdated. If they didn't update to 4G, whatever, just disable the parasitic module, and that's it. So I spent about 3 hours on this, and I'll tell the customer, pay for 2 right now. If you don't have any issues for another month, then you can pay me for the 3rd hour. If not, we'll go further. So thanks a lot for watching. Really, really neat tool. Right now it's a prototype. I hope whoever made this will start making it on, available for purchase, because something like this on modern cars, it is truly fantastic to be able to monitor very precise current draws over, overnight, over days. Super convenient. No other tool can do this. So I'll keep using it, especially on these Fords. I'm sure we'll see more 2017 Lincolns with similar issues. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.